I'm Brenda. Welcome back to my quilt room. I'm excited to show you this little quick project that I have behind me today. I needed like a new throw for my sofa, and I love to cover up with a quilt when we're watching TV in the evenings. And previously I had bought a lot of this grungy denim looking fabric, and I used it all up in a quilt that I made for someone. And then I liked this red material, so I purchased these. The project that I have behind me is just something that I created, and I'm calling it Denim Blossoms. Now, if you follow along with me, you know I do like to do applique. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to make out of this fabric. So originally I cut out these rectangles, and they're just, I think they're 3.5 by 6.5. I have a PDF of the instructions for this, and I purchased 2 yards of the red and 2 yards of the denim, and I already had this off-white beige. I had 2 yards of this already in my stash. So originally, the intention was that as I made my unit, one blue and one red sewed together is what I'm calling a unit. And I wanted to lay it out in a chevron type pattern. Well, I had it like laid out on the table, and I had my husband come in and look at it, and I said, "What do you think about this pattern?" And he said, "Well, if you're making it for Wonder Woman, I think it'd be great." Well, then I cracked up laughing, because as soon as he said that, I could see Linda Carter in her Wonder Woman outfit, and I really wasn't crazy about it. So I just tried a couple different layouts, and I liked it just exactly like this. It was easy to cut up and put together. And I decided once I had the whole center together that it needed something else on top of it. So that's when I cut out this flower shape and the centers of the flower. Now I put these on here using just the raw edge applique method. And I gave it to my long arm quilter to quilt. She always does such a good job. If you can, I don't know if you can see I'll show you the back. It's like a little daisy flower, if you can see the flowers. It sort of mimics the flower that's on the quilt. And after I got it back, then I went around and I clipped. I came in about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or so all the way around, and then I clipped it. And of course I wanted it to fray out and be fuzzy, so I put it in the washing machine. But I was really happy how this came out. And like I said, I used 2 yards of the blue, 2 of the red, and I had 2 of this, and the brown and the white I already had just little snippets of scraps in my stash. Well, with what I had left over, I actually had enough to make this pillow. And I do have the directions for the pillow included in the instructions. And I just added a little snippet of the blue on the pillow with the little flower in the middle. I used 2 pieces of what was left over from a sheet on the back, and you could have a nice little pillow that matches a throw. This is just a throw size, but literally you could just add another yard of each color if you wanted it to be larger. You could enlarge it and put flowers on or not put flowers on. One thing I do want to point out, when I was auditioning and laying out where do I want all my little flowers to go, what I did was I sewed like these first 3 rows together, and then I put this flower, I put the flowers on and sewed it in sections. So the next section where I had flowers. And then once your flowers are appliqued on, go back and sew your 2 or 3 sections together. I put 10 flowers on my quilt. You can put as many as you want. You can put them as big as you want. I gave the dimensions for what I used when I made mine in the instructions. So sometimes you just want something that's appealing to you and it's really fast, easy, and quick. If you need a quick project, boy, this was fast. I even cut up all this fabric in just one evening before I went to bed, because you're just cutting it into these rectangles and sewing them together. So even if you only have a little bit of time in the evenings, you could sit and sew. You could just chain sew block after block after block of these together. And I really liked the size of it. I actually had 2 of these strips left over. I was going to make it longer and I kind of didn't like that. So in these 2 strips, I cut them in 2 so that I would have 4. And then as you can see, I put them around the border of the quilt. And then I simply used what I had of the beige to finish out the extra that I needed in the corners. But all of that is in the instructions. So I hope you like this project and that you give it a try, and it will inspire you to pick out maybe some fabric, some yardage that you have in your stash, cut it up and make a simple throw quilt for yourself. So till we see you again, bye for now.